let's jump into this first email from Hannah. Do you want to read it?
Sure. Hannah says, "Hi, I am a new listener to your podcast and have enjoyed the friendly banter as I suffer through studying. In your most recent episode, you mentioned the LSAT being the same for all test takers and how that may affect cheating. I listened to, apologies, another podcast where they identified the June LSAT-Flex as a compilation of multiple tests, some sections that were even previously released as experimental sections." Well, they wouldn't have actually been released. They would have been on tests as experimental sections, but not actually released. "According to that podcast, the LSAT-Flex changes about every 2 hours. I had two main questions about this. One, is it true? Or at the very least, is there an accurate way of even determining this? Two, if it is true, how do you think this affects scores? How would you create a conversion scale against other students who have taken the test? Since I'm a new listener, this may be something you have previously discussed, so apologies if that's the case. I am intrigued to hear your thoughts. Thank you, Hannah." What do you think, Ben? Is it true?
I have no idea. How are these other podcasts like? One, how do they have the time to like? They always these. I always hear about this. Like you have these like people who go off on these tangents and they're like, oh yeah, we've looked at all the data and we predict that the next LSAT will have one evaluate question. I'm like, I don't have time to sit there and figure that out. And
that's completely unhelpful. Just nerdery. Yeah, speculating about what's going to come on the next test is not helpful. I prefer, Ben, to just randomly speculate.
Okay, go for it.
I bet it's true that the test changes, but I bet all they do is they just shuffle up the order of the sections.
Well, I was thinking as we were reading this that maybe one way to change the test is to alternate the LR section, because now they could, right? They only have one, so they could use one and then the other, because they have twice as many LR questions as they do other questions in their bank.
But that would be super fucked up to give different people different tests. That makes no sense.
Why does it matter? I don't see how it matters. Because at the end of the day, you just have to get a score, right?
I mean, okay, we're having an existential conversation. Nothing fucking matters. Like it doesn't, who gives a shit about anything at all? But like from, I don't know, it's just a sort of basic standard of fairness.
Who gives a shit about anything at all?
For real. Nothing fucking matters.
Pay for law school. We don't care. Do it.
No, that matters. Don't fucking pay for law school. Do not pay for law school, especially in 2020, especially in fall of 2020. Don't fucking pay for law school. I beg you, like, please, if you're planning to go this fall and you're about to pay tuition, do not, under any circumstances, do not do that. Keep your money. Do not sign your life away to go to law school online this fall. That would be exceptionally stupid of you. Other than that, Ben, nothing fucking matters. I don't care. Do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Just, I don't know. Like, it just kind of seems strange that if you're taking the August LSAT or whatever, I would think that everybody who takes the August LSAT would be taking the same test. But I mean,
maybe that's just why none of them are disclosed, right? They're not disclosing it because they're like trying to shake it up. But I don't know how they would come up with so many game sections. So I wonder if it's just different because they changed the LR and they changed the order of these sections, like you're saying. I don't know.
I don't know. It's 2020 and shit's fucking weird. I also, like we were texting a little bit about this yesterday. People are killing the flex.
They are.
You want more random speculations?
Go for it.
It's all a big fucking scam. Law schools are desperate for applicants. The LSAC is mobbed up with the schools. I mean, the LSAC is the schools, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They're just like, they basically just made the scoring scales easier because they needed qualified applicants. They needed people to be applying. And so, because I mean, well, it's either that or it's accommodations, or it's just that the demon is that good But I mean, we're hearing, I was texting Ann yesterday and she's like, hey, what's going on? Are people killing the flex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are killing the flex. I don't know. Maybe people are more comfortable taking the test at home.
Online, 3 sections, shorter.
Games count for a little bit more. So if you master the games, that's like free points, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't ever miss a question on the logic game. So maybe that's part of what's going on, is that it's easier to score in the 170s now because games count for a third of the test instead of 25% of the test.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the blind guy who sued the LSAC about getting rid of the games. They count for more now. It wasn't part of their settlement, but yeah, I don't know. I think our answer for Hannah is we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So we don't know if they're changing every 2 hours or what, but I mean, regarding her question, she does say this: if it is true, in other words, if they do, change the test or whatever, how do you think this affects scores? How would you create a conversion scale against other students who have taken the test? Well, one thing is, because it's none of these tests are disclosed, they don't actually have to disclose the conversion scale either. So all that can be kept in-house.
Oh, you
So
could just
maybe
have
they
a
have,
different conversion scale because you took a different test.
mm-hmm,
It'd be
you
like
could
we
have
could do
multiple.
that in the Demon, right? We could just be like, hey, you take prep test 3 and you take prep test 33. You each get your own scale.
Yep. And
Each
we'll
of
give
you
you a score.
don't see each other's test because we're not going to disclose it. I mean, my advice for Hannah is stop worrying about shit that doesn't matter to you. Like, there's nothing you could do about it.
Yep.
2, it just, like whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters anyway, but this especially doesn't matter because you need to take the LSAT if you want to go to school. And so, you just got to go take the test. It's the flex. Apparently it's easier now. I don't know. Good luck. If someone else takes a different test than you took, yeah, maybe your test was easier than theirs. Maybe their test was easier than yours. You'll never know, and there's nothing you can do about it. So study, do the best you can.
Yeah.